Dao Ming took her outside, hugged her and told her, "Your true place is in my arms." Suddenly, he pretended to be in pain. Alarmed, she touched his chest, asking what was wrong. "Just keep your hand there, and I'll feel better." One day they were eating together, and Chelsea was worried about her friend, Sherry. Ever since Shimon entered her life, nothing had gone right for her. Dao Ming teased her, saying, "Just like when I entered your life and turned it upside down, huh?" Chelsea stayed silent, but deep down, she thought to herself that Dao Ming was the best thing that had ever happened to her. He suddenly proposed to her, saying, "Even though you're annoying and you'll probably drive me crazy, and we might fight every day, I still want to marry you." Who proposes to someone like that? But she didn't make a big deal out of it, figuring he wasn't about to get down on one knee and ask formally anyway. At home, a man arrived with 520 roses from him. But of course, she decided to count them. She had the time, after all. One rose was missing. Furious, she called him to scold him. Moments later, he knocked on her door with the missing rose. But she called him ridiculous. He chased after her to show her who the real ridiculous one was. Later, he went to her parents' house in the village to formally ask for her hand in marriage. Her mom thought he should tell his mother first, as it wouldn't be right to get married without her blessing. Being impulsive, he video called his mother and told her he was marrying Chansey. His mom responded, "You think marriage is a game? You need to plan this properly, especially considering Chansey's family. They're not ready yet." He asked, surprised, "Yes, I approve. Now get off the call and stop bothering me." He laughed and muttered something about how she could have just said that earlier. At the university, she waited for him to finish signing autographs for his fans. Yes, he was famous for his good looks. So good, it was almost annoying. She noticed he was wearing the same green shoes he wore the first day they met, when he accidentally stepped on her phone. "Didn't I say not to wear those again? They brought us bad luck." His friends asked her for permission to throw him a bachelor party and take him off her hands for a bit. She laughed and said, "Take him, I don't need him." But he came back to her, so she shoved him toward his friends, telling them to keep him. As they were walking, she tripped and accidentally brought him down with her. They quickly got up before anyone noticed. He saw her shoe had torn and decided to carry her to get a new pair. At the store, he told her she needed to come home with him. She glared at him, shocked. "Getting married doesn't mean you can start bringing me home like that." He smirked and said, "Stop with your dirty thoughts. I'm taking you to my grandmother so she can measure you for the dress." As if she hadn't been to his house before, Grandma took her measurements, and when he entered the room, he asked if they were done. She playfully asked, "Why? What do you want from me?" He grabbed her by the back of her collar and replied, "Do you even need to ask?" He had set up a romantic atmosphere, as expected from him, to confess his feelings to her again, making all the singles in the room groan in frustration. One day, his mother planned to visit Chansey's family to finalize the marriage details, but she canceled last minute and told them she wasn't approving the marriage. She had only been playing along so her son wouldn't get upset. Chansey told her family not to interfere in anything that happened between her and Dao Ming, because she wouldn't let her family be disrespected under any circumstances. She said she'd handle things herself. She then went to his friends to see if they knew what was going on. Massey told her Dao Ming had been missing since the day before, and she knew she was stalling and planning something. Dao Ming's friends decided to go to his house and sneak in without anyone noticing. However, Grandma spotted them. She had been expecting them to show up. She told them Dao Ming was locked inside. When they entered, they found his mother sitting by his side, while he lay unconscious, unaware of anything happening around him. She saw his friends as a bad influence, blaming them for his current state. She insisted that Dao Ming would only marry Xiaoji for his own good and the benefit of the company. Xiaoji was reluctantly prepared to marry Dao Ming. He stopped pairing her wedding dress under pressure from her family. Dao Ming's friends decided to take Xiaoji with them to convince Chansey to go see Dao Ming. Ever since his father locked him up, he had been refusing food and water to the point where his life was at risk. The plan was simple. Chansey had to convince him to marry Xiaoji, even if he didn't want to, because holding on to his love for Chansey could end up killing him. Reluctantly, Chansey agreed, but on one condition. Xiaoji must not invite her to the wedding under any circumstances, as she wouldn't be able to wish them happiness. When Chansey arrived at the house, Dao Ming's mother agreed to let her in, as long as she was there to convince him. As soon as Dao Ming heard Chanxi's voice, he got up and sat on the floor. Chanxi told him she had realized their love was meaningless and was just a fleeting distraction, but Dao Ming didn't believe her. He was certain she was lying because she was worried about him and wanted him to move on with his life. Dao Ming, however, had made a promise to himself and to her that he would never give up on their love. Chanxi felt weak compared to him, unable to do anything for him, while he was willing to sacrifice everything to stay by her side. Moved by his determination, she admitted he was right. She told him she should have been stronger and should never have given up on him. She promised she would stay by his side no matter what. When she left the room, she declared that she wouldn't try to make him leave her anymore. If he refused to eat, she wouldn't eat either, even if it meant they would both die. His mother warned her not to think this would make her relent. She then walked out into the rain, determined not to move, eat, or drink, no matter how much they tried to persuade her otherwise. Dao Ming's sister arrived, furious at their mother's behavior. She couldn't believe their mother was okay with her son dying inside, while the woman he loved stood out in the pouring rain. She told her mother that she was selfish and didn't even understand what motherhood truly meant. Her mother slapped her in response, insisting that she was their mother, and they had no right to question or refuse her decisions, as if she were some angelic. The day passed, with Dao Ming still refusing to eat, and Chanxi standing in the rain, unmoving. Eventually, Xiaoji stepped in and told Dao Ming's mother that she wouldn't marry him. Her father also opposed the marriage, urging Dao Ming's mother to let go and allow the couple to reunite. Xiaoji presented the finalized business contract Dao Ming's mother had wanted all along. Finally, they told Chanxi that everything had returned to how it used to be, and no one would separate her and Dao Ming again. The moment she entered his room, however, when she woke up, it felt like a dream. She heard Shimin telling her that Dao Ming had left for London and was going to marry Xiaoji. Not this again, she thought. How many times are we going to repeat this cycle? What is this, some endless loop like in a movie? Just then, she bumped into a man and fainted again. When she regained consciousness, Dao Ming was there, waiting for her in a suit. He told her he'd only marry her if she obeyed him. She found his words strange, as if he had reverted to his old narcissistic self. Suddenly, he disappeared, and Dao Ming's sister appeared, telling Chanxi to choose one of the F4 guys to marry instead. Chanxi refused all of them because she only loved Dao Ming. They then revealed the ultimate plan. If you won't marry anyone else, the only option left is to marry Dao Ming himself. The groom entered, proposing to her for real this time. Everyone laughed, teasing her for falling for their trick so easily. His sister nudged him forward, saying, "Go on, bro, marry her already, and let's wrap this up." Finally, they got married, putting an end to their endless drama, which had been giving everyone a headache. One day, they smelled something burning and discovered that Dao Ming's mother had tried to make them breakfast but failed miserably. She told them it was the first and last breakfast she'd cook for them because she planned to leave, live independently, meet new people, and finally take control of her own life. She was tired of burying herself in work and wanted a fresh start. Days turned into weeks, and the couple lived their life happily, playing around, joking, and exploring places. They were able to get their houses together like any other married pair. Thanks for your love and support. Don't forget to subscribe for more.